You, Senator Reynolds, for bringing this to us. Just a question. You specify higher education, which means our 14 universities, state universities, and 23 community colleges. Did you think about or talk about when you were developing the bill, which I think is a great idea, of maybe expanding that to some of the technical schools that we have that would help us with the workforce issues that we are seeing today?
To the chair, to the senator, I don't believe that was contemplated. I think that's a great idea. Would love to maybe adopt that into the bill.
You can talk about it. And follow up. What caused you to propose this? What's give us a little background as to why this is important to you?
To the chair, to the senator. So education is very important to me. I know that it is truly a ladder that will help generationally for people to climb out of poverty. And I have a compassion and a heart for those that don't really have the foundations that all kids need. The same foundation, and that's a stable family. And so as a mother, grandmother now, and someone who has educated myself through higher education, it's been a difference maker. So my heart goes out when I see individuals who just don't have that strong foundation. And I think that we can do that here in Ohio. I was also, of course, approached by government affairs people who, they're doing this in other states. And I just thought I would love to be a champion for this bill.
Great, thank you.
Senator Hicks Hudson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, Senator, for bringing this bill. I think it's an important bill, but I'm just wondering about the operations of it. As you're saying that for a child who has been within the foster care, kinship care system, and I understand about the age because that's not a problem, but what about that, that child who might have just touched the system for a hot minute and maybe not had to go through all of the other, maybe just remove shortly, then return once the home became stable? How does this bill, I understand the purpose of it, but is it directly affecting the foster care child versus the general children who would qualify for financial aid just in general? I'm not sure if my question is clear, and we can talk about it more offline, because I'm just trying to understand why, if a child is no longer in the system, why would they get this special designation?
To the chair, to the senator. So if I understand your question, what is significant about age 13? No? Okay, I'm sorry. I don't understand the question.
May I follow up? Clarify. Okay. Well, I'm sorry. No, my question is not about the age 13, but that a child may have been in the system, and at the time that they would apply for financial aid, they are not in the system. They've been returned back to the home. The home has been rehabilitated, whatever's going on. So why is it if the child was in at 11, but now at 18, they're no longer needing that type of support, that they get this special designation for funding? Is that clear?
To the chair, to the senator. So I do believe I understand your question. And I firmly believe that all children need a very stable upbringing. And a lot of us come from, broken families. I get that. I think with the spirit of this bill, it's just it's modeled after some other legislation in other states. So obviously it has kind of, a process, but I don't think that that's to the exclusion, or it shouldn't be to the exclusion of making sure that kids who need support have the opportunity to get a scholarship and go to college.
Senator Sykes. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for this legislation. It's a very good concept. The question I have is, how do you find maintaining satisfactory academic progress? What is that?
Yes, to the chair, to the senator, or to the ranking member, I'm sorry. Yes, so academic progress at a higher institution, and I'm sure you may be familiar, but having to maintain a certain grade point average. I know every college has their own policies around what is satisfactory academic progress. Most institutions, it's like a C average. And so for a scholarship purpose, you have to make sure that you are living up to the expectation of the average. Now, they will put you in academic probation if you fall below an academic progress, but you'll have at least 1 or 2 semesters to kind of resuscitate, and you'll be working with a counselor or tutors or whatever at an institution that would allow you to then try to get back into satisfactory academic progress. So under the scholarship aspect, how most scholarships work is that there is some sort of threshold that you have to maintain as a responsibility to keep your scholarship.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Senator Romanchuk.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for the bill. It does appear that it would pay for industry recognized credentials and certificates. That's a good thing. And that might satisfy the technical side of things. But what I don't see is requiring the student to go into a field that's in demand and not paying for a degree that won't lead to a good paying job and a career in the future. Is that something you might want to consider?
To the chair, to the senator, I think it sounds like that would be good and promising. However, if we don't do that to other students, if they have the autonomy to kind of go to college and pick where they feel that, they're led and this is what they want to do, I don't know that I'd want to direct them and say, well, you have to, if we're going to pay for it, you have to go into these fields. Obviously there's choice there, but I don't see that we do that with other students. So I would want it to kind of be as, autonomous as possible.
Okay, thank you very much for your testimony. That will conclude the first hearing on Senate Bill 182.
Thank you.
We'll now call